Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Aries Ascendant or Aries Rising. Um, the thing about this is, some of you may know when I first started these videos back in 2012, I did a rising sign series, but they were a little bit, concise. Some people refer to them as snappy, whatever you call them. They weren't really, quite as detail oriented as I wanted. You should have made them. The first one, especially the Aries Rising. Some of you may remember I did an about face. I believe that was my first video, and I didn't even show my face on it. And then, so this one, I'm going to start an ascendant series in which I'm more descriptive about more specific regarding the ascendants and my descriptions and interpretations of them. So anyway, now as far as Aries ascendant goes, first off, the appearance and physical body. Well, Aries rising can be medium height to tall generally. The face tends to be long in its shape. It can be very chiseled, high cheekbones. Um, the body tends to be spare and lean. It's Aries. I think a lot of it is attributed to the fact that Aries rising often expends a lot of energy. They often burn a lot of their calories shortly after they assimilate them. So, and the complexion can often be reddish. The features can be sharp and pierced. The eyes could be piercing. The hair often, is a reddish color or like a light brown or sandy type color. Of course, you got to factor in race and ethnicity into this, but generally speaking, these videos are general, of course, as far as the appearance, the descriptions of the appearance of the rising signs, and also the shoulders tend to be sloping too. And it's something I want to touch up on when your people are trying to guess like rising signs or ascendants. One basic fundamental thing to look at is when you're trying to see difference, like a masculine or feminine ascendant. Masculine ascendants are the fire and air rising signs. Feminine ascendants are water and earth. The masculine ascendants tend to have like a stronger structure to the face, a longer oblong type shape of head, where when the feminine signs, the face tends to be softer and rounder, in terms of as far as the head shape goes. But anyway, now the outer demeanor and personality of the Aries ascendant can be rather, could be aggressive, um, assertive, abrupt, impulsive, and impetuous. Uh, Aries rising is often outspoken and generally will speak their mind. There is generally little hesitation or procrastination when they want to state something, um, and can be impatient as well. The thing about Aries is interesting is that the sign is not readily discouraged. They might have certain persistence. I think with long-term goals more, I would say, but sometimes they could get impatient. And I would say if it's something simple, like if they're trying to open a jar or something, or they're trying to put one simple like a task, and if they don't get it right away, they might have somebody else do it. Maybe a Taurus personality is more apt to that because they have more, patience and generally than Aries rising. Now another thing is that Aries ascendant, can also be, really, one way to look at that is they could be easily provoked, but they're not vengeful or vindictive. They might get angry quick, but they're not ones that are inclined to hold a grudge against people. So the um, the thing about, and sometimes Aries rising can be a little bit irritable. Remember that they are ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of anger, and the thing is, they have, there's might be a side with Aries. Well, there is a side with Aries rising generally that can be a little bit irritable and agitated, and it's just remember they have that Mars rulership. Another thing about Aries rising, the ascendant is connected with the outlook on life. So with Aries rising, the outlook on life, can be about being fearless, having bravery, confronting things head on. Shaquille, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, who, according, based on his memory, has Aries rising. I just wondered if he might have been Taurus rising, but it's interesting. He said in a segment, NBA, it was like an Inside the NBA or one of those segments on TNT or something. He said, don't be intimidated by anybody. He was just talking, I guess, about life lessons and for people and such. And if he is actually Aries rising according to the chart based on his memory, that would make sense because that would be connected with the outlook on life for Aries rising. And another thing too, I would say, as far as Aries outlook on life is like really Aries rising outlook on life is about doing things with little hesitation or procrastination, going after things aggressively and quickly, not be sitting around, waiting for things to happen. Sadly, someone like me, like I have a Taurus rising, is like the opposite, and sometimes it takes me some time to get things going and initiate and start, projects and endeavors. Now, another thing too is that the ascendant is also connected with the early childhood. And for Aries, sadly, the early childhood in some cases may have been somewhat combative or maybe some contentious situations with others, but also one that may have been, very action oriented, expending a lot of energy on things more so than the typical, um, person. The other, for as far as a child, the thing about this is, and also too, it's interesting. I saw somebody one time that I had been friends with at one time on Facebook, and she was showing me, a child she had that had Aries rising, very young age. Child looked a little bit rambunctious, no pun intended, of course, but anyway. And the child was basically using her head as a battering ram, and was actually running into things with her head, running into furniture in the house with her head. So, don't always have to use the head as that, battering ram. But, I thought that's interesting. Another thing, too, is that you have the ascendant is also associated with new beginnings. And with new beginnings for Aries rising, they may be done with a lot of aggressiveness very quickly. Again, little hesitation or procrastination. Really, the thing too is it's about Aries ascendant. As far as new beginnings go, they may be connected with firefighting. It might be doing something pioneering, something innovative, um, something connected with the military, combat sports such as karate or judo, boxing, wrestling, as some examples, or some other Aries new beginnings may include, surgery. It could be helmet design because Aries is connected with the head, so it might be something with helmet design or even speech pathology. Uh, the thing is, as far as the ascendant is also associated with the energy and vitality of the person. And Aries rising, as far as their vitality goes, they may be very, energetic, have that abundance of energy. I would say Aries and Leo rising on average are the two signs that have the most energy. Leo rising's energy could be nearly inexorable and indefatigable. Aries ascendant, is very, obviously has a tremendous amount of energy, being ruled by Mars, which is connected, with energy, of course, and it's also Mars is associated with physical strength. So, Aries can do, a lot, really be very active and have, again, that surfeit and abundance of energy. And despite Aries rising often being very, rather lean and spare in build, they surprise others and astound them by what they can do, even though their physique looks such where you wouldn't think they could always, do physically as much as they can, but they will some often do things more, they'll be able to physically do more than even people that appear, bigger, that are bigger physically and appear stronger than they are. Now, another thing too, the ascendant, again, is, connected with the physical body, and Aries is associated with the brain, the head, the skull, and the face. So there may be more, susceptibility, to issues that are, associated with that. And Aries can be, accident prone, and the thing is, and that of course, when you're prone to accidents, there's certain propensity for injuries, to the head, the skull, and the face. Driving, Aries needs to be careful not to be too aggressive on the road, and some other things too. The ascendant is connected with a grandparent and people prominent in the early childhood. So, those number of those people, or some of those people, may be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant persons, or ones that simply embody Aries characteristics. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.